Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Jennifer Burns. I'm the head of the Business Insight Center here at the Central Library. And we are so happy to partner with the Small Business Development Center to present Business First Wednesday, our monthly program aimed at people who own a small business or aspire to start a small business. This presentation will be recorded and you can view it on our YouTube channel if you want to refresh your memory. And the PowerPoint presentation will be emailed to you later in the week. And right now, I'm going to introduce Gina Mangiamelli from the Small Business Development Center to tell you a little more about their services.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is going to be a robust and relevant program. We hope that you absorb a lot of it. And the marketing aspect is something that we talk about a lot with our clients. I'm a certified business advisor with the SUNY Brockport Small Business Development Center. We are a free and confidential service that provides technical assistance to entrepreneurs on every level, whether it's startup or preparing for sale. Our advisors can handle all of it. We are one center of 22 statewide, but one of 1,057 nationwide. So we're the largest entrepreneurial support network in the country, and we have tons of resources for you. We can help with business plan development. We help with your startup strategies, loan information and assistance like loan packaging, preparing the 36 months projections. Organizational structure to talk through whether you should be a corporation, an LLC, a DBA, and we can help you with that. And then we also offer workshops like this, in different venues throughout the network. So even if you're in Rochester and you wanted to join the Albany SBDC agricultural webinars that are coming up soon, all you have to do is register with any of them, and no matter where you are, because they're all virtual. We can help with government procurement as well, capability statements. We have a myriad of resources, including publications to help support all of those things that you need to consider when a small business owner. So I invite you to take a lot of notes today, review the recording often so that you can pick up and not have missed anything. And I'll look forward to engaging anyone that would like services from the SBDC. Jen will put in the chat the www.nysbdc.org website, which is where in the upper right-hand corner of the dashboard, you'll see make an appointment. You fill out an online registration, and then we will have an advisor contact you, set up your appointment, and get you going as soon as possible. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Jen.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Gina. So we're super excited to have Suzanne Rodriguez, owner of Frameworks Creative, present this month on Become the Marketing Expert for your business. Suzanne, take it away.
Hello. Hope you all are having a thank you. Today we'll be talking about the importance of your marketing plan. We'll be going over 4 sections, 4 different areas that you should be thinking about marketing when it comes to your small business. I hope today that you find some actionable steps that you can take to bring your marketing to the next level. Whether you're just starting out your small business, whether it's still in ideation mode, whether you've been at it for a few years or it's pretty well established, there's always room to grow when it comes to marketing your business, and especially when your business may pivot a new direction, which is always a possibility when it comes to small business. So before we jump into the content today, just so you know, I'm an entrepreneur just like many of you. I have a bachelor's degree in graphic design. I have over 10 years of experience as a marketing coordinator for multiple companies in the real estate industry. I have over 12 years experience as marketing director for a community church, and over 10 years in online advertising world. I also have 5 years of experience working as a studio photographer and have worked freelance photography for many years. So just to share my entrepreneurial journey up to this point, about 5 years ago, I filed for my DBA, Frameworks Creative. That's my company. And I had it as a side gig for a few years. And then in January of 2022, made the jump to full time. And this is my primary job now. I do marketing and branding and photography primarily for small business owners. My goal, I believe that too many business owners don't know where to start when it comes to marketing. So my company, Frameworks Creative, exists to empower business owners like you with the marketing and branding tools you need to be excited and equipped to share with others what you do while staying within your budget. So I would love for each of you, if you could take a moment and just write in the chat your business name, how long you've been in business, and what is it that you sell? What is your product or service?
Come on, people, don't be shy.
So again, just your business name, how long you've been
Okay.
in business, or
Thank you,
maybe
Allie, for being brave. We got bath, body and skincare, metrology. Ooh, aubergine, eggplant, my favorite. Franchise guy. Thanks, John. Social media strategy, wealth enterprises, business consulting. Oh, swag. Ceramic tile. Companionship for adults. Cleaning. Green energy. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. Real diversity in sectors here. This is great. Oh, board game cafe. I love board games. Alpacas. I want an alpaca. I don't think my yard is big enough. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. As you can see, we do have a wide range of business represented this morning, which is great. I love that no matter what it is that you're doing, marketing looks different for every single business. And so that's one of the reasons why I think business owners make the perfect marketing expert for their business. You know your business better than a marketing agency. And so you'll be able to, with some tools and with some time put in on the front end, really make sure that the words and the imagery and the graphics that you're using in your marketing are representing who you are really well. So thank you so much for sharing. And we'll definitely, I love the interaction. So please, as we're going along here, please feel free to send over any questions and I'd be happy to address those. So we're gonna jump into an activity here. So I'd like you to think of a brand that you love. So it could be food, it could be your favorite clothing company, just a product that you love, and go ahead and go to their website if you're able. And we're gonna look, each of us individually here, and see in a few minutes, can you tell what does that company sell? Pretend you don't know anything about it, right? And make sure you're just looking at what's available to you looking at their website. So without any prior knowledge of what you know about this company already. Can you tell by looking at their website what they sell? Can you tell, do they spell it out? How does it make your life better? And then the third thing, are they asking for the sale? Is there a call to action listed on the website? So go ahead and if you're able to hop over to, again, just you're looking for a company that you love or a company that you're aware of, and just going to their website to see if you can find these three things. And we'll look at some examples if you're not able to think of a website. And another thing to note is how long did it take you to find?
Suzanne, you froze for a second. Suzanne's in Nevada, so hold on. You there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Now you're back. Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm not sure quite where I cut out. I apologize. And I do have
So-
my phone on standby if needed.
Yeah, so you just said how long did it take you to find this info?
Yeah, okay, great. So if anybody wants to share, if you were able to check out a website and see if you can find these things, go ahead and share. Were you able to find these three things? Were they easy to find? Just yes or no. Okay, great. We've got some yeses. Great. It looks like you have some brands that you love that know how to market what they do. So we're going to look at some examples because I mean, each of you, it sounds like, have an example in your mind, but I think it's helpful to see what does that look like, spelled out on a website, and what could that look like for my business? Whether or not you have a website, is your website working? And is it communicating clearly and quickly with your potential customer? So here's our first example. So can you tell, looking at this, and hopefully you can see it okay, I know it's a little bit small here. Can you tell what they sell? So looking over this site, go ahead and put in the chat if you can tell pretty quickly what they sell. Yep, landscape lighting. And thinking also, you're communicating with words, but you can also use graphics. You can also use imagery. So their photo in the background, right, is an example of their work. Their logo actually has a light right in their logo, and their name is Landscape Lighting Pro. So those are a few clues that pretty quickly anyone who visits this website would be able to tell what they sell, right? Okay, yep, we've got some people bringing their humor out today. Thank you. So Jennifer mentioned without the text, she would have thought pool. So making sure when you put your website together, get some feedback. Take it to a coffee shop and ask people who have no idea what you do for your business and see if they can tell what do you sell. Okay, number 2, can you tell by looking at this site? How does it make your life better? How are they claiming your life will be better if you do business with them? And again, you can stick that in the chat. And I don't know if you're able to read kind of the subtitle here, but it says get landscape lighting that invites you to stay outside longer. So I think it could be probably more clear, but from this, enjoy your outside space. Make your entire property something that you want to spend time in, and stay outside longer. Yes. And lastly, on this example, how can you purchase? What are they asking? What's the call to action? What are they asking potential customers to do? Yes. Request a consultation. So we have it in the upper right-hand corner and right below the main title there. Having it multiple places is a great idea. You don't want to leave people guessing, right? If it's clear what you do, if you have a clear call to action, which we'll talk about those a little bit more later, you don't want there to be a gap. You want it to be very clear where you want them to go, and have that invitation throughout your marketing, whether it's your website, which we're talking about directly right now, or on your business card or on your social media sites. Great, thanks for the participation here. We'll go on to the next example. All right, so taking a look at this, which maybe is too real for those of us still feeling winter from time to time. What is it that this company sells? Yep, so they sell roof rakes, which I didn't even know was a thing. But I think it could be a little bit more clear, but from the picture you see this gentleman using the tool, which is helpful. And then the name of their company is Roof Razor Snow Tools. So that's pretty clear just from the company name alone, what they sell. And how can it make your life better? How are they claiming that they'll make the lives of their customers better? So they're saying in the main title here, the easy and safe way to remove snow from your roof. So, and Jennifer has a good question. Do you have to remove snow from your roof? I had the same question. So something that this company might want to do is educate. So something that helps, and we'll talk about this a little bit later as well. But one of the ways you can help establish yourself as an expert and get people to understand why they need your product is to provide information of value that can save their roof from collapsing. So I'm actually currently in Nevada right now visiting family. And I know just down the road at Lake Tahoe, they've actually had roofs collapsing from snow this winter. They've had a lot of snow out there. So I imagine some places in the world, these are a tool that are very helpful. So this company could provide, maybe right below this main title, why would I need a roof rake? Or, should I be concerned? Maybe a quiz to see if you're in an area that makes sense for you to need this sort of tool. And lastly, how does this company ask potential customers to take action? What are they wanting you to do? Yep. So either shop now, which is obviously, when you would exchange money for their product, which is their main call to action. And then another option is talk to a real person, which I think Jen had pointed out is a pretty cool option, right? These days, it's kind of hard to find a real person on the other side of the phone sometimes. So you can just give them a call and ask more questions about if a roof rake is for you. Okay, so it looks like Jane, you have started a commercial cleaning industry. Which is great. Commercial cleaning is definitely an industry that's growing these days, especially post-COVID or whatever the status of that is these days. Cleaning is definitely something that's needed. So we'll talk about customer. Oh, can you hear me still?
Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It just said internet unstable again. So just wanted to check. Okay. So you're asking about how to find customers, I believe. And we'll talk about customer experience in one of our sections coming up. And so we'll talk about some ways that you can gather potential customers. All right. So as our exercise that we just did and the examples we looked at talked about, it's important that your marketing is clear. And so one of the most important pieces of your clear marketing would be your call to action. If you have a great product and a great company, but you're not asking people to purchase, your business is not going to grow. And you're also, having customers that are missing out on how you're going to make their life better. So your calls to action should spell out how to purchase your product or service for your customer. Your call to action should be clear what they're doing when they click on that button, and should connect them directly with your product. You should use action words. So again, being clear what you're asking your customer to do. And then also, as we mentioned previously, just have it repeated throughout your marketing so that they're not wondering how to do business with you. So here's some examples on this slide. And these are all obviously just ads that I've found online. So for this cookbook, they have download today. So that's very clear. You're getting a download when you click on that button, and that's the action they're wanting you to take. For the Verbo homes here, they're wanting you to see more homes. So that one's not a direct call to purchase, but one that may lead to a purchase. So one, you could see more properties, right? See more options for your vacation. And then the one on the upper right here, start your free trial now. So clicking there, you can sign up for a free trial, which, sounds like low risk, but still probably leads to what their paid services are. So this is the first homework page, we'll call them. There's going to be 4 different sections, and I would encourage you to make time after today or maybe later today and really think through each of these questions that are on each 4 of these pieces of your marketing plan. And you may already be doing these things, but just taking time to really think through, is what I'm using for my marketing now really fitting who I am and communicating what I need to be communicating with potential customers. So for the clarity piece of your marketing plan, we're going to think through these 3 things we've been talking about. So are you communicating clearly what you sell? And again, these questions are pertaining to each part of your marketing. I kind of specialize in the digital world. So online profiles and other pieces that are part of your Google profile, things that exist in the online world when it comes to your business. But this should be every single piece of your marketing. It should clearly communicate what you sell. And again, that can be through words, that can be through photos, that can be through your business name, that can help communicate what you sell. The second point to think about, how does it add value to your customer's life? So thinking through your product, thinking through your ideal customer, and how is your product something that makes their life better, and have that be something you communicate with them. That's going to push your potential customers to action more than just hearing what your product is. And then the third point to think about when it comes to clarity in your marketing is how they can purchase. Are you using a clear call to action? And are you using it consistently? Have it be the same call to action, and have it be clear, and connect them with how to purchase your product or service. All right, so our second section we're going to be talking about, and this is kind of the area where I live most days when it comes to my business, helping small businesses come up with their visual brand. But this is a very important part of your marketing plan. So a strong visual brand, even if it's simple, it doesn't have to be complicated, needs to be consistent. That's one of the most important things when it comes to your visual brand. If someone sees you online and then later you run into them and give them a business card, or they see your business retail location, you want them to associate those together, right? You want to be consistent. You want them to know that you're the same company. Your visual brand should also communicate who you are as a brand. It should communicate, whether you're a professional business, or it can communicate your personality of your brand as well. So looking through the different components of your visual brand, the first obviously is a logo. This is often, and it was for me too, one of the hardest pieces coming up with for your own company. It's kind of a lot of pressure, right? It's you want it to be something that works well, something that you don't have to change a lot, but something that you can be proud of. So a logo is a very important piece of your visual brand. And again, if anyone has questions as we're walking through this, please go ahead and feel free to stick them in the chat. So when it comes to your logo, you should be very clear how it can be used, and how it should be used across all platforms. So if anyone else is doing marketing for you, or if you are doing it for yourself, you know exactly what's allowed and what's not allowed. You want to appear professional. You want to make sure you're using the same high quality images, high quality files, and that you're not skewing them, making sure that your logo maintains that quality that you want your brand to represent. So Sean is asking, who do we go to get help doing this stuff? And that's a good question. And I'm hoping that tools I'm giving you today will help at least you come to know which parts you're going to need to find help with, and maybe hire someone to do, and which parts you can put together yourself. So these brand boards I put together for some of my clients, and they're super simple. They're meant to be referred to so that they can know which colors, which fonts, which graphics to use. And Zeta mentioned Canva. Definitely canva.com. If you're not using that for your business, you should check it out. Put it in the chat here. Oh, I apologize that. And there we go. It is free for most of the things that you would need as you're starting marketing for your business. There's a paid version of it, but it is a great design tool. There's professional templates on there. So it's a great starting point, and a tool for anyone to be able to use to market their business. I would encourage you to check it out if you haven't. A couple people have mentioned other places online you can go to have logos built and things like that. I would encourage you to find a professional, whether it's online or in your area. And when it comes to your logo specifically, it's just a very important piece. And like I mentioned, even just knowing what file types you're going to need is something that's really super important. One of my clients, when I started working with her, we were thinking at first we wouldn't redo her logo, but then we found a logo she had done. She didn't even have a high enough file size for it to be used and have it come out well, unfortunately. So you just want to make sure that you're getting high quality files that are going to be able to be, blown up and put on a car if you want to do that, or put on a billboard. We are getting a lot of questions. Give me just one moment to run through these. Okay, great. We have some great comments coming in. Zeta mentioned developing a logo is the most painful part, but the most rewarding. And I totally agree with that. I think it's, like I said, really high pressure. It's going to represent your business. It is a big deal. And you want it to be something you're proud of and you want to hand out. But also, if you do go through that process and you get to a place where you are proud of your brand, it's something that's exciting to share. So Mary Ellen mentioned that she's learned as a store owner that having some colors that are offered in standard boxes will save money. And that's a great point. So thinking of your colors, which is the next part of your visual brand, it is helpful to have colors that are standard, especially if you have a product, right? If you're doing packaging, things that are going to be a high volume and a big expense when it comes to your business. Thinking of, right, maybe black can be one of your colors, or white, or a standard red. So thank you, Marianne Mellon. That's a good point. So also when it comes to colors, so as we mentioned earlier, Canva allows you to get this 6-digit code that refers to that color. And that will allow you to provide that for any other designers. Can you hear me okay still?
Yep. Okay.
It will allow you to get to that exact color on different platforms. So it's a good way, and you should choose, I would say, 3 or 4 colors for your business that you're using consistently. Have a few primary colors and then one that you throw in every once in a while. And again, these colors should help communicate who you are too. You can use colors to communicate, bright, vibrant, energetic, or calm, cool, professional. So thinking through those colors, and a designer, if you're working with one for your logo, will I'm sure have some input on colors as well. So fonts are another part of your visual brand. And Google Fonts is a great resource. They're free to use, and there's a wide variety of them. Just a couple of points when it comes to fonts, I'd recommend just choosing 2 or 3 to use for your business, and choose simple ones. Choose ones that are going to be very legible. Even if you have the clearest message in your marketing, it's not going to be clear if it's a font that's not easy to read. And then supporting graphics. So these are, could be part of your logo. They can just be ones that go well with the rest of your visual brand. And these are, again, just ideas to help when you're going to put a flyer together. These give you kind of boundaries, but also help you save time every single time when you're thinking of what do I need to design next for my business? These are rules that help save you time and help make your brand more consistent. Yes, great. Gina, I'm glad you mentioned when it comes to your logo, definitely check out the Business Insight Center and speak with them when it comes to copyright and trademark. That's really important information for you to know. And as you grow your business and make sure that you take advantage of those services that are available. That's a very important piece when it comes to your visual brand. Okay, so this is number 2 of your marketing plan homework. So tuck these away and spend some time thinking over these, answer these questions. But do you currently have a visual brand? How do you feel about it? Do you think it reflects who you are as a business well? And are you excited to share it? Sometimes even if you've had a brand that's worked for a while, maybe your brand's kind of pivoted. I worked with a photographer a little while back, and she had done photography for years, had a logo that I had actually designed previously for her. And then she kind of pivoted to focus on pets particularly. And so she needed a rebrand because she was refocusing her business. And that may be something that you come across as you grow your business. And then also, are you excited to share your logo? And the third item here is, what's the next step? Just think of a next step when it comes to developing your brand. What do you think you need to do to develop that brand further? Okay, so this next section is on your customer relationship. So without, a good relationship plan, how are you going to build that relationship with your customers? You're not going to get sales, right? So it's a very important piece. If you wouldn't get married without building a relationship first. So you want to think of, what are ways that I can let them know what I do, and those 3 items we started with, right? What is it that I sell? How is it going to make their life better? And how can they purchase it? So think through, if you haven't already, and I'm sure if you interact with the SBDC on their business planning and one-on-one consulting, they will help you talk about this. I know this is a very important piece of your business plan. So who is your primary audience? And I know, especially as you're starting out and maybe you don't even know exactly what your business is going to look like, it's hard to narrow it down, but it's really important to narrow it down. And again, as we've mentioned, your business is going to grow, it's going to change, and you can always pivot. But to have a more narrow audience, you're going to make the most of your marketing dollars instead of just marketing to everyone everywhere. And then once you determine who your primary audience is, you want to think about, where can they be found in the digital world? And maybe even the non-digital world, the physical world. And make sure that your business is there, make sure what are ways that you can connect with that audience in the places where they're already going to be on a daily basis. Okay, so obviously, especially when it comes to digital world, online profiles, social media sites are a lot of where we spend a lot of our time. So this is a helpful chart, and the source is at the bottom, just to let you know who's where. I think it is a little bit outdated. And of course, social media sites are always growing, changing. It's a world that is never static. And so, but just this helps kind of give a good idea of what sort of audiences each of these social media sites has. So if you don't already have a plan of where you're going to represent your business online, you can look over these and think about your primary audience and where would they fall when it comes to these categories. And one of the most important online profiles, I think, and many business owners, believe it or not, miss this piece, is your Google business profile. This literally gets you on the map when people try and Google your business. So you don't want to miss this part and leave it to chance what they see when they Google your business. This you should treat like any other social media profile. Make sure that all your information is up to date. Make sure that it represents your brand well. Make sure that you're asking for reviews. It actually also has a place where you can make posts, just like with Facebook or Instagram or any other social media site. There are places on this page where you can post, and those will show when people look up your business or look up your industry. They'll see all those pieces. And the more information you have, the more updated your profile, the higher on Google that you'll show. And it is also free to be a part of this. Google wants more for business there with following. Sorry about that. Just 1 minute here. All right, can you just confirm that you can see the screen okay? No,
Yep. You're
Okay.
good.
Thanks. Okay, so the next piece in your customer relationship plan is lead generators. So the idea of these is to give something to your customer, give them a step that's not quite purchasing, not quite the exchange of money for goods, right? But what's one step closer to purchase that you can bring them? So thinking of something that you can give away that's of value to them, something that's going to establish you as the expert in that field, and also allow you to have your primary call to action as part of it, right? So we had talked about earlier in the webinar that the snow rake, right? So maybe a lead generator for them could be 5 reasons why you need a snow rake. And it could be a free download, and they would have it on their site, and you would plug in your email address in exchange for this information that's valuable to me, right? As a homeowner, I don't want my roof to collapse. And it also establishes this company as an expert, and also builds the argument for why I need that product and how it's going to make my life better. So this is definitely something you don't just need to have one for your business, but throughout the life of your business, have multiple. But they should be something that is free, something that brings your customer one step closer to purchase. And also the purpose of them is to collect information, right? So that you can have warm leads to follow up, and if they downloaded those 5 steps to why they, or 5 reasons why you need a snow rake, those people are going to be closer to purchasing a snow rake than just the average person. So here's a few examples. 8 reasons why literally everyone should get Bombas socks. So I think that one's a little bit self-centered when it comes to the company, but hopefully potential customers would click on that and find out why they should get Bombas. This one is like a free rating or a free grade. See how my account is for this. I think it's like a SEO grader. So seeing how the current state of things for my business, that's a good way to do it. People like to take quizzes and they like to learn more about themselves. or maybe provide research in your field. You know, again, like the snow rake, what are stats on how many roofs collapse from snow every year in your area? And so a key piece to the lead generators is follow up. So the whole point of taking the time to build something of value to give to your customers for free is, again, to collect those leads to get you closer to the sale with them. But you need to be following up. So if you have a whole list of emails and they just sit there, then, you know, there's really no point in putting the time and effort into this piece. So make sure that you have a plan for once you collect that information. There's plenty of tools out there to set up automated emails or texts once they exchange that information for that piece of information. I know the lead generators can be kind of a confusing piece of marketing. So do we have any questions at this point, or are you thinking of maybe an idea for your business when it comes to a lead generator? The next piece, oh, and Jennifer mentioned the Business Insight Center can help with direct mailing, so they can help get you lists. Once you know your target audience, it is definitely a valuable resource. The next, and I have questions later to help you think of a good lead generator for your business. Great, Sean, thanks for sharing that you started one but weren't quite sure what direction to take it or what the point was. Hopefully this helps clarify it and helps you know which direction to head. Okay, so the next important piece of customer relationship is 5-star reviews. So I don't know about you, but I often purchase based on reviews that I read first. And I know, especially as the retail world moves online, this is going to become more and more important for your business. So unhappy customers will rate your company sooner or later. They will let their voice be known. So what you want to make sure you're doing as a business owner is asking your happy customers, ask people who love you for reviews. And then, you know, when you get a negative one, which you will, because your target audience isn't everyone, then it doesn't really affect your rating as much if you have plenty of 5-star reviews. And another great part about 5-star reviews online is that you can use them in your marketing. When people leave them online, they're making it public domain. And so you're able to use that information, which is going to help other potential customers see why other people chose it. How did it add value to their lives? Were they happy with their choice to do business with you? People to leave reviews. The more that you're asked to do, the less likely people are going to take. So just a few examples. Amazon is great at sending out emails after you purchase something, and you literally just have to click on the stars, right? And then it leaves a review. I had left a Google review for a company, the lower right-hand corner. This is an example. I think it was a survey they had sent out, and they asked, hey, you gave us a great review. Would you please leave it on our social media pages? So they literally copied and pasted the text that I had already put together. Things I already feel about their business, I can just copy and paste that and leave a review on their Facebook page or on other social media sites. I would say even having a link to their Facebook page right there would be great. But they're doing part of that work for me and making it more likely that I'm going to leave a review. And then back to that Google business page that you have set up for your business or will soon, you can find right in there a direct link to where you can share this link and your customers can leave you a review right there. It will take them right to the page and they can just start typing. So when it comes to your marketing plan and customer relationship, think through what online profiles are important for your business. Think through what is a lead generator you can build. So again, what is something of value that helps establish you as the expert and build the argument for how your service or product makes your customer's life better? What is something you can give away for free in exchange for an email address or in exchange for a phone number? And then how can you regularly be asking your biggest fans for a 5-star review? So where in your sales process can you determine this is a customer who loved our product, and be sending those types of customers that link to get a review, to make it that they're going to be leading other people to want to make that jump just by their testimony of how they feel about doing business with you. All right. And then the final piece of our marketing plan today is photography. And this is one of the pieces that I really love. Photography is one of the main parts of my business. I think you can capture in photos things that you can't in words, especially for small business. Your customers love to see that you're a person behind your product. They want to know, what does the process look like? How's your product made? And photography can help communicate that in a way that words can't. So what kind of photos would showcase your product or service well? Be thinking of those things. How can you show customers using your product? Or how can you show what their life looks like after they do business with you? Is there a way you can picture what does a happy customer look like for my business? And again, each business, especially with the wide range that we have represented today, each business is going to be different. So thinking through what does that look like for my business? How can I showcase my product? How can I showcase my service? And how can I represent what it looks like to do business with me? How can I show people what their life is going to look like? How is it going to be better through photos? So there's two options when it comes to photography. You have stock photography or custom photography. So stock photos is basically like a library of photos. You can Google. You can search for different types of photos within these libraries. Here's a few examples. These links will be in the slides that will be shared. And these ones are free, so you're able to use them at no cost. There are other options that you do have to pay for. So the pros to stock photos, it's just a library from other professional photographers that it has been put together. These ones are pretty high quality. The pros would be it's easy, right? They're already taken. It's fast to just pull a search, download one, use it in my marketing. And there's quite a few free options today, which I think are great for businesses just starting out. So the cons of stock photography are they might not reflect exactly who you are. Maybe you have a very specific demographic that you just can't find in stock photos. They can be costly depending on the stock photo site that you're using. And also one thing that I've definitely found is, and you can actually see it represented right down here from these two, and I'm not sure what the relationship is together, the Unsplash and Pexels. You can see there's the same image there when you come on the homepage, and probably the photographer just uploaded them to both of those sites. But a con can be my business could use that one, and also 500 other businesses, right? So maybe I see marketing for another business using that photo I just used in my flyer because it's a stock photo that's free and available for anyone to use. So those can be the cons to stock photos. So the other option is custom photography. So pros are custom photography would reflect your brand authentically. If you, the business owner, you're planning the shoot, maybe you're even taking the photos, it's going to definitely connect really closely with who you are as a brand. Pros, especially these days, all of us have, you know, a camera in hand with a lens that is really high quality. So it doesn't have to take extra equipment if you just, you know, take a little bit of planning and know a few things to look for when you're taking photos, which we're going to get to. It doesn't have to be something you spend lots of money on and buy a lot of new equipment for. And photos can help ease fears. So especially if you're, say you were opening a spa, you can show your customers what does it look like, the spa location, and what are other customers looking? Are they looking relaxed in the environment? Help them understand what is it gonna look like when I walk through your door. Also showing showing a customer using the product. So showing people how do you use your product? So cons for custom photography, that definitely takes time and planning. It can cost money if you're hiring a professional photographer. And sometimes maybe it's not an option depending on your product or service. If you're in the healthcare world and you have a lot of HIPAA privacy regulations, you just need to, you know, make sure that you do your homework and know that it's a good option for your business. And if maybe you do have a lot of stipulations like that, just work through, maybe I could have employees' families come in versus actual patients. So now we're going to go through specifically what are elements of a good photo. So the idea is, I think each of you can be a photographer for your business. So think these elements are things that you want to be thinking of when you're taking photos for your business. Again, you want to think through the content, what makes sense for me to take pictures of. But when it comes to logistically taking the photo, these are elements that you should keep in mind. So obviously, when it comes to photography, lighting is key. Lighting can make all the difference in a photo. I love some of my most favorite photos are just taken right next to a window. So having a subject sit next to a window, having the light from the window hit their face. I think you don't need any extra lighting again, but just keeping tabs on what is your lighting situation. Do I need to wait till the daytime versus taking photos at night, which I would definitely recommend. And then also thinking, do I want it well lit? Do I want light from everywhere? Or do I want it to have a lot of shadows and have it be more dramatic? So lighting is something that can communicate a lot in a photo. Another element of photography to be thinking when you're taking photos for your business is the angle that you're taking the photo at. So think from the same scene, you could change your angle and get 4 different shots from the same scene. And then also thinking of the background. So I encourage you to take just a few extra minutes and look, you know, at your entire scene that you're planning. And maybe there's an exit sign. Maybe if you just scoot it a little bit to the left, you can avoid having that big ugly exit sign in the back of your photo. Or maybe there's a sign or a plug in the outlet that you could just kind of unplug and clear before you take your photos, or a trash can that could move out of the way. So particularly for product photography, that's what I had in mind when I put this slide together. When you're setting up your photo, I encourage you just use Again, I think each of you can market your business well, and photography can be a piece of that. So use what you have. Doesn't have to be anything special or expensive. And the more you do it, maybe you'll find you do want to invest in something that will really improve something specific for your product that would work well with it.
Suzanne, can people get decent photos using their phone, or do you recommend an actual camera?
I definitely think you can get great photos from your camera. I took these from my camera with the idea of I wanted to show an example of what you can do. And these days, I mean, really most lenses in a camera, I mean, on a phone will do well for what you need. I obviously, if you hire a professional photographer, the quality is going to be higher. But the point is, right, these are business startups and we want to be making it affordable, but also having a good professional look. So, and I think you can do both. Excuse me. Okay. So also when you're doing product photos, so the one on the left here, I just took a photo when I pulled them out of the oven, right? Quick. And then, but if you just take a few minutes and set up a scene, I literally did this in 5 minutes, add a few details, add some interest, right? Bring some details of your product. So like the oats, add texture and interest to the photos. So these were all taken on my phone. Again, just thinking I paid attention to what was in the background, right? Making it simple, clearing out extra clutter. I took it from different angles. Also being aware of the settings that are available in your camera. I used portrait mode for these, which obviously they're not portraits, but what portrait mode does is allow that depth of field look so that the background is blurry, which I think really brings attention to the detail of these cupcakes, muffins. So portrait mode, I would recommend. It also avoids distortion. So it's going to make it so that the lens will not distort the edges, which I think represents that muffin more clearly and makes it more appealing.
We do have a question about what's the best pixel count for printing and website uploads?
Yes, great question. And they're actually different answers. So for printing, you should have at least 300 DPI and pixels per inch for your photos. And for website, you don't want to have huge photos. So for print, definitely you need larger, especially depending on the context. If you're doing a billboard again or wrapping a car, you need it to be really high quality. And often wherever you're getting something printed or produced, they'll let you know if your photos are too low quality. But when it comes to your website, I'd recommend using like 200 or 2000 pixels wide is a good, or smaller.
Yep, you froze. Are you there? Wait, are you there, Suzanne?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah,
I think you're back.
You. Okay.
You're back.
Okay. So just saying for your website, you want to have them be smaller. So what I use is usually 2000 pixels wide, so that it's not weighing down your website and having the lag time be slow. So Sean mentioned an app that works well for blurring out the photos. That's a good point. There's a lot of free editing software these days, where you can edit your photos after you take them. I am always a fan of taking what I want, so I have less time involved. But obviously there's a lot of different options depending on how you prefer to do it. So I hope as we're walking through these practical ideas, you're picturing pictures in your mind for your business. I think that, again, photography is a way that small businesses can represent what they do really well. And it's a fun way to get potential customers engaged in your product. So in your photo section of your marketing plan, be thinking, what kind of shots do I need? What represents my product? How can I communicate what life will look like if people do business with me? When will I take the photos? Who will be in them? Who can I ask to come be customers in my photos? It could be customers, again, it can be family. Think of who represents your target audience well, and then think through who's going to take your photos. Are you going to take them for yourself? If so, what are the skills you need to learn, or things that you need to be a little bit more confident in to be able to do that well? And just putting the planning in on the front end, I think, can really make all the difference in getting photos that you're really proud to have to represent your business. So Gina is asking, when planning to shoot photography for your business, do you recommend creating a storyboard for the layout? I think that's a great idea. I think a storyboard helps, again, maybe think through that value that you're adding for your customer. What is the story you're inviting them into? And how can you communicate that in photos? I think that's a great way. The more you can plan it, the more clear it is for you, the more clear it's going to be for your customers. So I hope today has been filled with things that you can take from here, practical tools that help give you what you need to be the marketing expert for your business. I really do believe that you can be, especially in the starting stages. Again, you know your business better than anyone else. I hope that today has been helpful for you. And I would love to follow along your business. If you don't mind sharing your if you have an Instagram or Facebook page or a website, please share it. I will share mine as well. And I wish you the best as you move forward with your business. Please, I think we're moving on to questions. If people have questions now, I'd be happy to answer those.
Yeah, any questions for Suzanne? This has been really fantastic, I gotta say. Really just concrete, ways to apply this information.
Yeah, Jen, can I jump in for a minute?
Sure.
So some of the most important things that I heard here were, structuring your marketing plan. We've all heard about business plan, but very seldom do I see a legitimate marketing plan with these elements that she's been talking about in terms of clarity, the visual of the brand, the customer relationship. I think it's really important to think about that. And at the SBDC, we do have some resources online and on an EntreSkills platform that can take you through what it takes to put that marketing plan together, and we can help with that. I also heard important information about, remember that the Carlson Center for Intellectual Property is a great resource. I learned today that, Jen, you can do direct mail listings, which I did not know that before. So the Business Insight Center just has an enormous amount of resources that can help you. And I think that leveraging all of these resources can certainly help you to create a positive and effective marketing plan. And then the resources of the SBDC to help, talk you through that and come up with something that's good. So recognize that you have tremendous resources. And I think that if you leverage all those resources, you're going to end up with some really good marketing strategy. I also want to note that we have people on the call that are not from the Rochester, New York area. If you are from downstate, or I know we've had people from Colorado or that, whatever. The ASBDC has all the locations for all the SBDCs nationwide, and it's very easy to find the one that's closest to you. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions before we close today?
Not a question, but I just want to comment. The Business Insight Center is by appointment only, so please shoot us an email if you'd like to come in. We don't want you to make the trek down here if no one's going to be here to work with you. We have a very small team here. And just discussing that direct mailing quickly. So for example, Daniel was talking about Finger Lakes Fromagerie. And so what we could do in that situation is create a list of consumers in the Finger Lakes area who are identified as liking food and wine. So he could create a postcard, say, 10% off your first visit, something like that, and send that to those people. So obviously there's a cost attached to that in that, you're printing and mailing something, but usually if you tried to buy those lists, you're talking about like $1,000. So we can provide that list to you for no cost.
One more thing, I can't seem to get this chat up, but we have someone from Farmingdale, Long Island. Erica Chase is the Farmingdale director. And if you just do Google SBDC in Farmingdale, Long Island, that information will come up. I just tried to message it to you, but it wasn't working for some reason. So if you're in Long Island, the Farmingdale SBDC is a great resource, and they can help you with all of these things as well.
Last thing, if you are here for SEAP, Self-Employment Assistance Program, please email your forms to me. I'm putting my email in the chat. Any questions or any other questions regarding today or the Business Insight Center services? So please email those SEAP forms to me. Any other questions for me, Gina, Suzanne? You guys have been great participation, great engagement. We love to see that.
Super. Thank you, Jennifer. Another great one down on the calendar.
Yeah, the SEAP program is through the New York State Department of Labor. It's an alternative to looking, if you get laid off, or an alternative to looking for another regular job, and it supports you through creating your own business. So there is some algorithm that identifies whether or not you would be a good candidate for that. So it's not available to everyone. But yeah, so if you do get laid off, that is an option out there through the Department of Labor. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. And we again will be meeting May 4th for our next program. And Gina, May 3rd. Do we know what that topic is, Gina?
Yeah, that is Virginia Smith with the United States Small Business Administration, who's going to talk about SBA funding, the criteria for getting funding for your business. They'll talk about the 5 C's of credit, and Virginia will be presenting the program.
Awesome. Okay, we hope to see you all there. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.